Now then, how you doing? What day is it today? I think it's about 8th, might be 8th. Saturday 8th of July 2023. Can't put it off any longer, can I? I've literally been in here all day today, much to our lass's disdain, but I've had to finish the eagle off, but that's not what this video's about, and I'm absolutely piss wet through because I've just been to the shop. I love that. When I was a kid, you know, even neighbour or my mum would be like, nip to the shop, and you'd just go to the shop, wouldn't you? Why am I still doing that? I'm 52. Anyway, I digress. I know Paul's going to be laughing his knackers off at that. So, I'm chatting and I'm talking at the same time. So, I was talking to Luke Cars the other day, and we were talking about things in general, kits for kids, Black Rifle Model Works, coming on, looking at all the people's builds, etc, etc. I do love to be a co-host on Luke's show. And a chap had come on, and we're looking at all things armour, and you know, I'm sort of like crying a little bit, crying to myself, saying, oh, you know, I wished I could build it and da-di-da. And at the end of the day, you know, people that have watched my stuff in past, it's tornado this and tornado that. And that's because I do like the kit, but I've just got off phone to Paul in Liverpool, the Wirral, and I've said, wouldn't it be funny if I started building armour and literally started smashing them out at Parker and be like, thanks, I don't know what all the fuss is about. So I was talking to Luke, as I said, quick diversion, and he said, do you know what, Mark, I'm going to chuffing send you one, I'm going to send you the tank. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. So he has. Beautiful. Let's not beat around the bush, that's what it is. Okay, a nice little Tamiya, glasses on, a nice little Tamiya British Army Chieftain Mark V with 3 realistic figures, openable hatches, fully detailed plastic tracks, ready to assemble, precision model kit. Cement and paint not included, modelling skills helpful if under the age of 10. 1 in 35 military miniature series. Do you know what? When we went shopping to Diamond Dave's last December, Halifax World, as a club, and if you've ever been to Dave's shop in Halifax, you know that all that back wall is absolutely chock-a-block full of armour. And again, same as what I've just said to Paul, I'm kind of doing myself out of a skill set, aren't I? If I don't have a proper go, and I mean a proper go at building armour, I'm doing myself out of a whole genre there that's literally begging to be done. Okay, and who knows? I've got an absolute boatload of Umbro weathering powders. I know how to build a kit. I certainly know how to build an aeroplane kit. But the question is do I know how to build a tank kit? Now, it's not the very first tank that I'm going to attempt. After I had a car crash 5 years since, a bad one, and I've posted this story before on my YouTube, and when I came out of hospital, I'd actually started, I think it was a Tamiya Abrams tank, and I were a lot of blood thinners, and I came up, I'd been in hospital for 33 days, and after a head-on collision, and I came home and I had a couple of days in house, literally, you know, not moving. And then first day our lass went to work, she's like, right, don't go up to the shed. And well, I won't. She hadn't even gone out the door. I'm putting my chuffing pumps on, sneaking up garden, and I sat here feeling as woozy as anything, and really sort of like contemplating life, thinking, what the frig am I doing? But the draw of the hobby, doesn't it? It draws you in. And I came here, and I'm not kidding, part on a sprue, and I got my knife, and I thought, oh, I'll put a no blade in, nicked it, and I just nicked end of my finger. But because I were on blood thinners, I'm not kidding, it was like, and it would not stop. literally would not stop. I was pulling reams and reams of blue roll off, trying to stem this blood. And then reality kicked in, and I thought, what are you doing, you knobhead? Go back to the house. And so there you go. So I have tried it before. I'm looking up here. I'm not quite sure what happened to that tank, you know. I can't really remember. It is 5 years since. I digress. So Luke has sent me this Chieftain Mark V. And again, I'm talking to lads tonight. Paul, Dave Housecroft, Trev, Marky Bridge, and amongst others, Mark Lid and Ange as well. And they're all sort of like egging me on to build some armour. And again, when I think back to Diamond Dave's last year, and I see these, I think they call them, is it the Tyrannosaurus sort of Spectra? Correct me if I'm wrong. Stick one in comments, because I'm not an armour builder. Or Stegosaurus line, or whatever it is. I can't remember if it's a Meng or whatever. But when I look and you open the box and I've got Dale with me, who's had to bring an handkerchief because he's literally drooling at the mouth. Oh, look at this, and when I look at the complexity of the plastic parts, and I think I've got to have a go at that. Now, what I've just said to Paul is, I suppose at the end of the day, it's my comfort zone, isn't it? Building aircraft, and moreover, GR1s and GR4s, it's my comfort zone. And you can all appreciate now that I don't even need an instruction book to build one of them. And then with Spitfire and the Hind helicopter, absolutely superb kits. And I've sort of spoilt myself a little bit in elevating the level of kit that I've been buying. To the point that I've outprice pointed myself on 1 in 48 jets. I have just finished the Eagle, my What If Eagle. I'll stick some pictures up like I do. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. But it's almost like modelling for a lot is almost, I don't want to sound condescending to a drug, to somebody who's dependent on that, because that must be awful. But the draw of the modelling in general, 9 times out of 10, it draws you in. I know that we can go through, a subdued period where you can even go into your hobby room and think, I just literally can't be arsed. And the amount of posts that you see on Facebook saying I've lost my mojo, and I've been there, and so has everybody else. Majority have. It's like peaks and troughs, isn't it? Unless you can find your own balance where you go up and it's just plateaued, it's just steady away. But I'm getting to the point, I even said to Paul last weekend, chatting with Paul, and, what's up with you, Mark? And I went, do you know what, mate, I've had enough. What do you mean you've had enough? I said, I've had enough. I've had enough, I'm bored. I'm bored, stupid, mate. And I sat here for 2 minutes, and he's Paul saying to me, shut up, you're blagging me. And literally for a split second, a minute or two, I'm literally ready for throwing towel in, full stop. Not that I've got another hobby to go to, because I love this hobby so much. But I just got bored of like the repetitive and doing the same thing. Luckily, I dropped onto Luke that night, and he's like, a couple of days later, I've got this Chieftain come through. I have got my spark back because I've knocked that Eagle off in a week, but I have spent considerable amount of time in it. Far too much, if I'm absolutely honest. But the hobby draws you in, and I'm hoping that building this piece of armour, I've got to call it armour, I can't just call it a tank. Building this piece of armour is going to regenerate and really fuel a fire within my modelling fingers, if you will. Okay, so like I said, put your comments on if you want about how much I'm going to enjoy it, or what to look out for, and this, that and t'other. So I says to Paul, the difference is, Paul, you put an aircraft in front of me, and I can read an aircraft brochure in that I know what to do, I know what's coming next, I know not to attach this at this point. Same with Eagle when it said step 3, put your undercarriage front leg on, and you know, as a builder, you look and you go, nah. And that obviously didn't go on until the very last minute. And I suppose with armour, I am well out of my comfort zone, properly out of my comfort zone. I'm thinking, I think the thing that has always swayed me away from doing this kind of thing is that once I start looking at the old instruction book, I'm thinking, I get that, but do I actually need to attach that now? And I suppose in a lot of respects, it's like learning a foreign language or going and starting a new job, in that you're excited, but there's a bit of sort of trepidation there at the same time. And I get that with people that are building armour and then come on to aircraft. You know, and as an aircraft builder, the words just sort of roll out of your mouth. Don't know what you're worried about. It's a piece of piss. Do this, get rid of that seam, put this together, do your cockpit, da-di-da. It's easy. And the words just sort of fall out as an aircraft builder. And the armour builders that are watching this going, well, that's exactly the same, Mark, for armour. Once you get into it, mate, you'll absolutely love it. So here we go. What's he sent me? He sent me this Chieftain then. Chieftain Mark 5, Tamiya 1 in 35. 1 in 35 military miniature series. Okay, and it starts with wheels. Okay, but again, we've got different bits of terminology now that I'm not familiar with at all. Construction at wheels, duh. But then we've got road wheels and sprocket wheels, make two sets. The construction of the suspension, fixing of the suspension, construction of rear panel parts. I mean, I don't know how how this would compare to a newer kit. And by that I mean, if you've built a Zuki motor aircraft and then you look at, you know, old Revel kits that are same as this, which is just a drawing like that, and you'll look at a Zuki kit and the instruction book there, it's like absolutely gorgeous. It's equally as good as the bleeding kit that you're building. But stage 1, 2, 3 and 4 all sort of looks all right. And if you've built it, again, you know, let me know what I'm looking out for. Number 6, fitting at rear panel, construction at rear panel. Yeah, flatten a pin. For what's that say? Flatten pin head with a heated knife. All right, yeah, I can see that. That obviously means don't glue it so that it swings. We've got idler wheels and sprocket wheels. And again, you know, Paul and Mark and everybody else is sort of saying, when you build it, leave this particular wheel off and don't do that, and to get your tracks on, etc., etc. This piece of armour does come with rubber tracks. Will I put the rubber tracks on, or will I go aftermarket? Do you know what? I haven't made my mind up. I'll have to contact Sean at SGS Model Store in Leeds and see what he can do for me. Fixing of upper, I'm scratching, I'm itching. It's because it's so close. The weather is so close. It's pissing it down. But it's been 28 degrees today, and we need this rain. We do need this rain. Fixing of upper hull parts, part A, and that's all the sort of. Well, I daren't even sort of like attempt to say what these parts are because I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm sure that they've all got their own names. People like Craig down at club, you know, if you watch it, Craig, and you're like, God almighty, we are. Come on, Mark. Fitting a rear panel, fixing of upper hull parts B. I can see the general sort of consensus of what it is. Things underneath, the barrel's a 2.5 affair. And again, I know that that's going to have a sort of seam line on it. There's like a khaki sort of wrapping around this barrel down the length of the barrel. Construction of the turret. Okay, construction of the turret, part 11. construction of turret parts. Right, okay, and it's gave me a colour call out. Fixing of turret parts A, that's obviously the coupler. And some kind of basket thing on the side, and there's a little part there that's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes in it that looks like some kind of tubey grenade launcher or something. Don't laugh. But the instructions do actually show photographs periodically along the way, which is handy. Construction of the turret, okay. Fixing of turret parts, some more. Oh, that's driver's side and passenger side, port side and starboard side, of course. Rear wheel, a wire reel. And then last part, construction of skirts, how to make antenna. Oh, that's stretch sprue. I think I'm going to use some guitar string for that if Paul comes through for me. Antenna, side skirts on. Track, note the direction. Alright, okay. And then obviously onto painting and applying decals. Painting of the British tank. The British Royal Army's fighting tanks have been mostly painted in just one colour, dark green. The famous Chieftain tanks of the army also usually come in single dark green. And in case of camouflage painting, the Chieftain tanks have been mostly commonly painted large patches of each colour and clear dividing lines, which seems to be common in British military vehicles, shading off of one colour into another to make dividing lines unclear, or painting in leopard skin style has been hard to find amongst British tanks. And then you've got your Tamiya colours there. Tamiya call out. It does look rather interesting, I've got to say. What colour is the tank on the box art? It's almost like it's like a pea green, and then a sort of shitty brown, and then a dark brown at front, doesn't it? So we've got like a funny green here and a shitty brown here, and then a dark brown at front. And I know I'm going to need some metal for the tracks. I have got some AKs interactive and some gunmetal and one thing and another. And that barrel that comes, I wonder why does the barrel, why's the barrel got a hot water bottle around it? You tell me. Does it get cold in the winter? Sprue call out, parts guide. And again, when you look at that, I mean, you might be watching this and think, yeah, standard, Mark, standard. I look at that and think, right, Jesus Christ, here we go. Do you know what I mean? Let me have a look at this. So it comes with rubber tracks. Oh, that one's together. Comes with rubber tracks. The Abrams came with rubber tracks. And again, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know whether to push myself, but I am saving for Telford, aren't I? That's the thing. So do I want to spend X amount of pounds on some single link tracks? Plastic then? Not to compare it to, really, have I? So how do you compare that to a Tornado? Well, you can't. There's some lines on the side. Plastic feels thick enough, I suppose. Edges need a chamfer before I glue them together. Couple of hatches there that are closed with some holes in. I'm taking that they sort of like have locking, lifting arms on them or something. And obviously that's the turret base. The top of it. I know that there. I've watched Zach's videos. ZTE Worx. I love his videos. So I know that they're radiator covers. Little bit of a hole there at the front, and I know that obviously you get 3 figures with this. Can you hear that thunder? And then he calls it a bathtub style. So I'm guessing that that's what that is. and it has got some holes underneath. Now I have just noticed in there it's got the outline of 2 batteries in it, and it's got Tamiya Chieftain stamped, moulded into that as well. So that's that. And then just a couple of bags. Let's just have a look here. I hope you're keeping all right. I hope you've all been watching me my live streams, and we are enjoying doing them. They're quite cool and really nice to do them actually. The plastic is very, very shiny. Oh, that's it. Look, what's where's my finger? What's that? If I put my hand behind it, what is that there? No idea what that is, but it does look like some kind of thing. And do I need to drill those holes out? The barrels on this one, and I'll tell you what, it's got that sort of webbing effect on it, and I wonder how much of a nightmare that's going to be to sand off. Couple of figures with the arms missing. The arms are obviously on the side. Not a figure painted by any stretch. I can't even, you know, obviously when I'm building aircraft and I'll say exhausts, pylons, missiles. For this one, I can see a barrel, a jerry can, 2 figures, and that's literally where my knowledge ends. So I suppose it's all going to be a learning curve, isn't it? And I've got Paul begging me to do a live build, and I'm like, absolutely no chance, mate. The guys who do those build videos, they've got the time to do all the editing and stuff, and I just don't have that. Polycaps, I don't know what a polycap is. So there's a little sprue of polycaps here, and I know that this is the suspension, or part of. The sprue gates don't look too bad, to be fair, and the parts look really well detailed. I know that they're the side skirts. Detail is as detail is, I don't know, because again I've got no to compare it to. And then the last bag, let's have a look in here. Do you think I'll be able to do this? Kind of nervous but excited at the same time, but I can't keep just doing what I'm doing. Decal sheet. Where's my camera? There it is. 22C Al Capone, some registration plates, I'm guessing. They look really thick actually, do them. That backing paper, that's they're like 3D chuffing printed. They're quite thick. And then in this one, let's have a look, see if I can recognise anything in this one. A figure. These, I think they're sort of ropes, but again I've seen people cut them lugs off at the end, and then get some wire in a drill and spin 2 bits of wire together to make a proper chain. I can see headlights. I can't see anything else on there that I can say that is that is so and so. I know what they are. Wheels. Woohoo! But again, if you said to me, you know, point out the road wheels, yeah, I can see them. Point out the idler, no idea. Absolutely no idea. Point out the sprocket? What do they call it? Idler, want the little idler. Is it an idler? Sprocket wheel, make 2 sets. Point out the sprocket wheel. I won't know where to point. This is going to be dangerous, isn't it? A bit more paperwork in the book. Tamiya Tech tips for assembly, about cutting off parts and all that sort of stuff and painting. Don't need that. And then for some reason, Chieftain Mark 5. Oh, that's exactly the same as that. There's some poor bugger out there. There's some poor shit out there that's been having to write off to Tamiya, saying I ain't got my instructions in my kit, mate. Sorry, mate, I've got them. Or maybe they know it's my first kit, so they're gonna say I'll need all chuffing help I can get. We better put 2 sets in. What we got here? No. And then, oh, there's a part that's fallen off there, look. I better put that back in box. So there you go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to start backwards building on this one, obviously. Which is what I normally do, isn't it? But that's aircraft. And this is a tank, and I will need those out. But I don't need that. And I will need that. But I don't need that. And I don't, oh, I do need that. But I don't need that. And I don't need that. And I certainly don't need the decal sheet. As far as painting the tank is concerned, still scratching. As far as painting the tank is concerned, when I built the Abrams tank, I posted that onto Facebook, and I've said this before. The very first comment that came back was, "You're an aircraft builder." I said, "Yeah, I am actually. How do you know that? This guy does not know me from Adam." I said, "How do you know that?" He said, "Because of the way that you've painted that tank, mate." He says, "It stands out an absolute mile." So I've kind of got, and that were 5 years since. So I've still got that in my head. That one comment. It's funny how comments can, you know, stick with you, isn't it? I can remember it like he told me it was yesterday. "You're an aircraft builder." How can you tell? Because of the way that you've painted that. So I've got to get away from painting this tank like I would an aircraft. Which means, of course, that I'm going to have to subscribe to Andy's Hobby Headquarters. I've been told, have a look at him. And I'm sure that there's some more that'll help me. Once I've sort of edited this video and posted it up, obviously I'm not going to start that tonight because it's very, very late. Next thing I'll be doing is making a cup of tea, getting in my kickback chair, going on YouTube and typing in Tamiya 1 in 35 Chieftain tank full build sequence and see if I can pick any, I was going to say any instant tips up, but they're not even instant tips, are they? It's basically I need somebody to hold my hand through this one. 52-year-old bloke here. And literally, you know, begging for help. But I'm not. I'm going to give it a go. I owe it to Luke to get this. I'm going to say to get it right. I don't owe it to Luke to get it right. I owe it to Luke to have a go, don't I? That's what I owe this guy. Same as he did with me when we bumped into each other at Telford last year, and I literally forced a tornado into his hand. I suppose you feel a slight air of, I've got to do this. And I have got to do it. I've got to do it. I've got to do it for myself because I know I'm going to Telford this year and I know that I'll be gawping at some gorgeous armour kits and literally doing a Lou and Andy. I want that one. And I've got to make a start somewhere. So I'm going to start here. Wish me luck. Thanks for watching. And next video, I will actually do another video all about the Eagle, and I'll stick that up at some point as well. Take care. See you later. Catch you next time. Cheers.